Hey, today I want to talk about the last two seasons of House, that is season 7 and 8. I have actually reviewed all the other 6 seasons, and you can find these videos here and here. So, this show actually in its time was a very popular show and had a lot of ratings, and I think it's definitely Hugh Laurie who shouldered most of the burden, and it was actually famous and known for his performance. Now, seeing the whole series and all 8 seasons, I can say that House actually was dependent on Hugh Laurie and his acting. And one thing you can never say about this show is that Hugh Laurie ever faltered, because he was always good in this show. Now, like any of good TV show or great TV show, to the ending of this series, it falters. And I think by and large, season 8 might be the worst season of House, because of a very couple of different reasons, and there are things that are considered into spoiler territory, which I'm not gonna get. But you have to really embrace for a change that certainly no one was expecting, and I couldn't believe that they had to do these kind of things, or things changed so drastically for the last season. Now, for the most part, season 7 and 8 at its core, and most of these episodes function like a normal episode where they have usually a case and they are kind of fumbling around, and usually within the 40-minute mark in the episode, the case gets solved. There were some gimmick episodes, as they always like to throw in to break the monotony, and the gimmick episodes are also kind of fine. But this is precisely why I do not like network TV shows in the first place, because they are so by the book, and usually some things go alright and some things just don't add up, and in the end everything comes crumbling down. So basically that's what happens in House. Now, overall, looking back at this series, I think seasons 3, 4, 5, those were his high parts. Especially each of those episodes finale was excellent, and their season premieres were also very strong. Now, looking back, I think one of the best House episodes for me personally was actually season 5 premiere, Broken Part 1 Part 2. This is a fantastic episode, and weirdly enough, that is the most unlikely of House episodes. It does not feel like a House episode, because those two episodes are actually based on a different setting, and I just love these episodes. That's just one of the best episodes House has ever put out. Now, through the end, they were just fumbling around and just trying to do the same thing and trying to break the pace and the monotony, but things didn't actually go anywhere. The characters were in a rut, and in retrospect, the actors were also in a rut, and the show has just gotten into a very rut, and in the end, it's just not a good ending. Now, as far as the season finales go, I don't think this season finale has any kind of controversy, because the way things are portrayed is actually seen as very clear cut. But recently on Reddit, I have read some fan theories on this, and there I found out that a huge number of people actually do not believe that ending, even though that is actually corroborated by the creators and the writers, and everybody seems to think that the ending is very open and shut. There's no ambiguity there, because it's not like a Sopranos ending where you don't know what the fate of Tony Soprano was going to be. So in House doesn't try to pull one of those. It actually pulls a sudden twist at the end, and they just think that that's okay. But internet, in all its wisdom, has actually concocted a different story and different theory for their own. So as I was watching the finale, I think that made the finale much more enjoyable, because I think for some weird reason the finale ending in an ambiguous way just works. So I don't know if I should encourage you that or recommend you that, but if you want, you can learn about the finale, how it ends, because it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, because those are not his best episodes. The finale is not by a long shot his best episode, might be one of their worst. So as you are watching House, you should just enjoy the first 3 seasons where everything seems normal, and then they start to significantly change things up, which just blazes through the season 3, 4, 5 and 6. Those were I would consider House's prime, and then in this latter episodes it just kind of slows down. So I think it's definitely a show worth a while, because I've been watching House for like more than 3 months, and I didn't know if I would have the temperament to carry on with this show, because I have stopped watching a lot of network TV shows where I didn't just want to sit through the whole thing and just kind of wanted to give up on it. But I didn't give up on House, so I guess that's a good sign. I think if you enjoy a weekly episodic TV where everything just goes back to normal, everything just solved miraculously in the end, and of course if you like Hugh Laurie by any chance, because even if you don't like Hugh Laurie, I think you will like him after this show. And lastly, I guess if you want to know about the ending and what sort of had this ambiguous aspect, I think it significantly betters your experience of watching this show go out in the sunset. I don't know how to rate this show, but I'm just going to, and I think overall House is a solid 3.5 out of 5 through its entire 8 season run.